Today we're going to learn how to make suggestions, give advice, and make offers in English. These are very useful expressions for everyday communication. For example, when you want to help someone, give ideas, or decide what to do. Let's start with shall. We use shall to make suggestions or offers, especially with I and we, and usually in questions. For example, shall I make you a coffee? Shall I open the window? Shall we go out for dinner? Shall we take the car? These questions are polite and friendly. We can also use question words plus shall to ask for suggestions. For example, what shall I wear this evening? What shall we do tonight? Where shall we go for dinner? When shall we leave? These questions help us ask for ideas or decisions. Now let's look at why don't. We use this structure to give suggestions or advice. For example, why don't you try on that jacket? Why don't we go shopping? Why don't I come round later? This is a very common and natural way to suggest something. Another way to suggest something is with how about and what about. We use them with a noun or a verb plus ing. For example, how about a coffee? What about a bigger size? How about trying on a dress? What about going to a concert? These are simple and very useful expressions. Now let's talk about had better. We use had better to give strong advice. It means that something is important. For example, you'd better take an umbrella, I'd better not be late, we'd better leave now, he'd better hurry. It sounds stronger than should. We also use let's to make suggestions that include the speaker. For example, let's go to the cinema, let's take the bus, let's try on these clothes, let's buy a new jacket. If we want a negative idea, we say, let's not go out, let's not take the car, let's not buy it. This is very common when making plans together. Another useful expression is, if you like, I could. We use it to make polite offers. For example, if you like, I could help you choose a jacket. If you like, I could carry your bags. If you like, we could go to the shop together. It sounds friendly and helpful. We can also use can and could to make suggestions. For example, you can try on the shoes, we can go to the shopping centre, we could take the bus, you could wear a scarf. Could is often a little more polite than can. Now let's look at should and shouldn't. We use them to give advice. For example, you should wear a warm coat, you should try a different size, we should buy new trainers, you shouldn't wear that in the rain, you shouldn't go out without a jacket. These expressions are very common in daily life. Let's see everything together in context. You want to buy clothes. Your friend says, what shall we do? You say, let's go to the shop. In the shop, why don't you try on that jacket? How about a bigger size? You should buy the blue one. If you like, I could help you. We could go to another shop. You'd better take a coat, it's cold. These are all natural expressions. To summarize, we use shall, why don't, how about, let's, can, could, should, and had better to make suggestions, give advice, and make offers. Learning these expressions will help you communicate more naturally and politely in everyday situations, especially when talking about things like clothes, plans, and activities.